Awesome, great, glorious day it is. This is the day the Lord has made, and indeed we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Umubanga podcast, where we aim to inform, transform, as well as inspire. Our guest, ladies and gentlemen, is the country manager of Christian Vision, aka Radio Christian Voice. You know the drill. Eh? Every Zambian Christian knows this radio station. A leading faith-based media house committed to sharing the gospel through excellence in broadcasting. With a strong passion for media, leadership, and the kingdom of God, our guest has steered RCV into a new era of innovation, quality programming, and impactful listener engagement. She's also the driving force behind the Radio Christian Voice Music Awards, now in its second year, celebrating and elevating Christian music talent across Zambia and beyond. Known for her grace, strategic mindset, and commitment to excellence, our guest continues to inspire many through her leadership journey, her dedication to ministry, and her belief in using media for God's glory. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on the Umubanga podcast, I do not know if I'll get this one right. Wongel, Banda.
Thank you so much, Dennis. You did well with my name, and thank you so much for all those kind words.
Yeah.
It's very gracious, yes.
Awesome. So how does this make you feel, like having this like read to you, like?
I wonder, like, wait, who is he talking about? Like, where is she?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very grateful and humbled.
Yeah, awesome. So look, I think Zambia is going through like a whole awards season. Like a lot of awards have like happened, some are yet to happen, and the RCVMAs are like coming up. Like, how does your day look like? Like, is it like an anxious type of arrangement?
To be honest, this year it's not really. I think last year this time I was probably frantically running around, anxious, because it was also our first time. We were figuring out a lot of things. This year, praise God, I think the team also is, more experience from last year. We know a little bit of what we're doing. And also we know that at the end of the day, it's God who will, see us through. So because we also have seen that time and time again, I think this year, not as frantically running around.
Awesome. So for people watching this and they're pretty much like introduced to you and the fact that you're the country manager for Radio Christian Voice, like who are you? Like,
I am a daughter of the Most High God.
Yeah. Awesome. So walk us through like your childhood and your early life, like.
Where'd I come from? So I'm Ethiopian. My husband is Zambian, which is why I'm here in Zambia. And my children, I have 2 Zambian children, little girls. I grew up in Ethiopia, born and raised. I was born in Arbaminch, in Ethiopia, the southern province in Ethiopia.
I think the only place I know in Ethiopia is like Addis Ababa.
Addis Ababa. So that's where I grew up.
Okay.
Grew up with it was the 4 of us, 3 brothers. So I am the third born, only girl in the family. And yeah, I had, with my upbringing, very creative, fun childhood, I would say, with my brothers, a lot of playing, a lot of creating, a lot of, so that's mainly.
Awesome. So in that environment, I do not know the predominant religion in Ethiopia. I don't know if it's Islam or...
Ethiopia is mainly Christian. I mean, historically also,
Yes.
it's like, I would say it's the first Christian nation
I
in
know
the world.
the oldest Bible, pretty much.
It's said, I don't know if we have the oldest Bible, but definitely one of the oldest churches.
Yeah.
The Orthodox Church has also preserved the Ethiopian, the Bible for a very long time. But it's mainly Orthodox Christianity. Christianity is definitely the largest, but there's also a huge population of Islam in Ethiopia. Yeah.
So now, like growing up in that environment, like how did it influence your Christian walk?
I grew up in a Christian home.
Was it Pentecostal or Orthodox?
Yes, Pentecostal. Actually, both my parents were full-time missionaries. Although my brothers and I were raised by a single mom. We lost my dad when I was 2 years old, so pretty much raised by a single mom until I was 12, and then we lost her. But I think I would say I've been shaped by her. All of us have been shaped by her. Very strong missionaries, both of them. And then my mom every day would actually drill into us, you're not just born. Every single day she would tell us things like, when I see each of you, it's 4 of us. I see 4 tall buildings, or she would say, I see 4 generations. In each of you, I see nations. So every day she's drilled into us this, you're not just born, you're here for a purpose. So I think from a very young age, it's been instilled in us that we're here for a certain purpose, that God is going to use us, and we're set apart. Yeah.
So in that vein, like growing up, I know your parents had passed away, but then you had like a whole circle and community. So like, how did that community I know it's relatives who were able to come through and help you guys grow and thrive in that space? Like, how did that aspect of mentorship like really shape who you are now? Like, well, what are some of the lessons you still draw back and influencing who you are now?
So yes, we had family around us, but for the longest time, it was actually mainly my brothers and I. So
you're like, by the time your mom is passing away at 12, your oldest brother was how old?
He was 15. So
interesting.
Yes. So he was 15. And then after him, I think maybe there's 2 years gap between me and my immediate older brothers, like a 1 year gap, and then 2 years between me and my youngest. And we had family, and our grandma also used to live with us at that time. So she was with us. Of course, it was also us taking care of her as well. But I think what it instilled in us was a level of, one is independence from people, but also dependence on God. Because we were, told, okay, maybe you guys should go here, maybe live with somebody here, move to another country. There were a lot of suggestions from family, well-meaning suggestions, but we said, look, one is we don't want to be separated as siblings. There was a very strong bond that we had just growing up. And also my mom always told us that, it's not me who provides for you, it's God who provides for you. And we said, okay, even now, it's still God who's going to provide for us. So we just said, we will see what happens. We'll stay. And God came through in so many ways. We had the school we were going to gave us scholarships. From then on, it was just, to be honest, miracle after miracle. A year, I think 3 years after living with our grandma, we moved in with the family of one of our uncles. We lived about a year together, and then when my oldest brother turned 18, we just said we're going to move out. I know it's not like an African tradition at all, but we just said, I think we're very
Maybe
independent.
you were following the Jewish culture where at 12, like the boy is now a man. And
exactly. Yeah, maybe. So we just, we started living by ourselves, and we had also our auntie who became more like a mom to us, who's been with us since childhood, who was like helping in the home. So we just moved out, and that's how we finished. I finished high school. It was a very fun life, very peaceful. Also, just living with my brothers and figuring it out.
So in that whole journey, like, how did your relationship with God look like? Was it like a moment like giving your life to Jesus, or that had happened through when mom was still there?
Definitely we were, born Christian or grew up in a Christian home. And then in our home it was like, and whenever somebody turns 6 years old, you have to officially give your life to Christ.
Oh wow,
but I think
shouldn't do that.
I think by 6 maybe kind of what you're doing. But I think a real time for me definitely when my mom passed away was, I think, when my walk with God became real, because there was a lot of questions of, but why God? Why would you do this? Why would you, take her away? Also because she's, a massive worker in your kingdom. Like, it would be a negative if she's gone. So there was a lot of like unanswered, like, now what happens? And then after just a few weeks of asking God why and not getting any response, I kind of told God, okay, I'm just gonna leave everything in your hands and change my question from why to just surrender and say, you know what, I maybe I will not understand. Maybe someday I'll understand why, but I just said, okay, may this be for your glory. Use my life. And I think that's when I really gave my life to Christ. And I always circle back to that moment to say, okay, God, my life is in your hands. So if I become somebody, then it'll be for your glory. If I end up a nobody somewhere, abandoned, then it's your loss. Then you have a life that, that's wasted. And God is so faithful. Amen. So, yeah.
So we've walked that whole path. I think you mentioned that you're in Zambia because of marriage.
Yeah.
So transitioning like from that space in Ethiopia, like how do you find yourself in Zambia? How do you find yourself as a country manager for Christian Vision? Like,
Honestly, again, a short answer would be God. I also did think like Zambia is so random. Like how am I in Zambia? Sometimes I do look at maybe the work that I get to do here at RCV, the people I get to interact with and impact, and I think maybe this is also part of the reason.
By the way, I have a question. So I used to attend a lot of youth blasts at North Mid Assembly.
Oh, okay.
So would you like, because you're from Ethiopia and then yes. So would you like come through those meetings and then that's how you met your husband?
So do you remember Pastor Z? He spoke at one
yes,
of the...
Yes,
you do?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so
yes,
Pastor Z is my pastor. I go to Beza in Ethiopia. So before I met my husband, so his parents used to come to also our church for a conference, Africa Rise conference, which is just a gathering of Christian leaders from across the nation. And so there was already that, definitely that church connection. I never came for Youth Blast, no. No. One time I did, but that was after I met him. So I actually met him when Pastor Z came to speak at Youth Blast, and then he came back with him to Ethiopia. He was going to do an internship somewhere at T62 in Ethiopia, and that's how we met. For just a few days, but we were introduced like multiple times by so many people, including like on the flight there, apparently people were telling him, oh, you need to meet, everybody calls me Cookie there, so you need to meet Cookie, and then I introduced myself as Wongel, and he's wondering who's the Cookie. But yeah, that's how we met. With CV separately, I was introduced with the current managing director of CV. Then he was the regional manager for Africa, Heinz. I was introduced to him by a mutual friend in Ethiopia. When he came to Ethiopia to just meet different people, they were considering opening something in Ethiopia, expanding their work into Ethiopia. And I was introduced by a mutual friend, and I just shared some of the stuff that I was working on then. I used to edit a magazine called the Youth Mag. It was a Christian magazine, online and print. So I was just sharing about my work. A few weeks later, they invited me and that same friend to go to Cape Town, to their office in Cape Town, to speak at an event and to just share kind of our testimonies, which is where the relationship grew. And then eventually, when I did find myself in Zambia and there was an opening, an opportunity here, I applied, and
So you were already married by the time you were coming in and joining CV?
Yes, because I joined CV officially in the office end of 2022. Got married in 2020 and moved here. But I met CV back in 2018 while I was still in Ethiopia.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. That's a journey.
Yeah, it was just like different stories somehow
like God
coming
shaping to make
together.
sure that all these like working together for good, so
Yeah.
that by the time you're landing in Zambia, a door is open. So getting into that space, I think now like there's been like a shift at RCV or CV here in Zambia. Like it's predominantly like youth. Like getting into that shift, you coming in and you have your different ideologies. You've been brought up or mentored differently. Different people have poured into you, and now you're coming to lead a whole organization with different personalities, different people who've been here from inception. How did that work out? Like, how did you navigate and just find your balance in?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty tough, especially initially. It was not easy, especially because I came during a time of change,
Yes.
and change is always hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any organization going through change is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly even harder when you add into the mix that I maybe just moved here. I'm
Yep.
getting used to the
Yep.
culture, getting to know the people. So I think there was definitely a challenge, especially the first year. I would say 2023 was a lot of, late nights, maybe sleepless nights, prayer. These things. The beauty about it is it pushes you closer to God,
Yep.
makes you more dependent on God, and to find direction, to say, are you still working here? Am I still following your direction, or am I going haywire? So it pushes you closer to God. But it was definitely tough, and it did shape me a lot. To be honest, right when I came, I was just excited to work. I love media. I'm a journalist by training. I love comms. I love ministry, evangelism. My name, Wongel, means gospel.
Oh.
So I love the gospel and I love evangelism. So I was just like, and CV is such an amazing organization that is just focused on evangelism and using any means possible, technology, to just spread the gospel. And the kind of creative freedom that it afforded me, I was just so excited to just come work. But I think what I learned is that before, you can't just go and start working. There's groundwork to be done. There is team to be built, vision to be cast. So I think especially the first year, I just had to come to terms with, okay, we're not doing much work in terms of productivity, but really we're growing as people, we're growing as a team. And that's actually very important. Yeah.
Interesting. So, and kudos to you for the job well done. I think you were pretty much one of the first radio stations to like go on air, like airing like a breakfast show, like live streaming it, because majority of them it was just traditional ways of broadcasting. Like, and the things that CV in Lusaka is like 106.1. And then majority of the radios in people's cars end at 90. So
you can't even reach.
Yeah. So, and speaking of the digital space, why was it important for you now bringing in your vision and leadership to make sure that it's properly done and excellently done?
So CV itself does a lot of work in the digital space as Christian Vision globally. It's actually only Zambia that's doing radio. Everywhere else in the world, CV is actually leading in the digital conversation and how to do evangelism using digital AI, all that stuff. So for us, it did make sense that it was part of the change that that was part of my job when I took this role, was to lead that shift into the digital. Like, how do we utilize this amazing opportunity that digital world offers us to reach more people, to reach new audiences, and to equip more people to share Jesus boldly. So it's the easiest way and the most sensible way was to make kind of like a hybrid setup for the radio station, where we're not just doing radio shows, but we're also podcasting. We can package that for social media, for YouTube, And I mean, a lot of investment did go into it. It's because Christian Vision does believe in, the advancing, evangelism through digital means. So we're able to, invest a lot into that. The team also really stepped up. People who've been doing radio for years now had to be introduced to the video, digital space, learning to edit their shows, learning to live edit with that Atamini thing. So the team also were just amazing in just embracing change and leading and pioneering that. Yeah.
Awesome. So last year, CV celebrated 30 years of its existence in Zambia. I think I've listened to RCV since time in memory, I guess. Maybe from the time I got introduced to radio. So 30 years of RCV, and I think to put it properly, to celebrate it, you decided to come up with the Radio Christian Voice Music Awards. What was the vision and idea behind bringing that up?
Yeah. So the idea for the awards came up. I had a conversation with my superiors about it in maybe Q2 of 2023. And now thinking back, it was definitely God. Because I've never been to an award show before then in my life. I've never even seen, even on TV, I've never really followed award shows or anything. So that's why I also think it really must be God. And then it turns out that later on in 2024, I learned that RCV actually had plans to do music awards over 10 years ago. Back in 2023, there was a whole concept note that was written. It just never materialized. So it looks like it was just the right time that God had set. But, the idea came when we were, as I said, in the middle of change, both internally and also externally. We had just rebranded, visual rebranding of RCV. We had to introduce new vision and mission statements. And that did unsettle some people, both, again, internally and externally. And it also, at some point, turned into a mini PR crisis where, some people were wondering if we were becoming a secular radio station. Some of their favorite shows are going off air. There's lots of changes. Shows are being renamed. And I mean, that's part of change. There will be some unsettling before things settle. But it's just, that's when I realized, okay, we do need to do something as RCV to connect with our community, to also reestablish and remind people it's still the same RCV. And why we said it's going to be music awards is because it builds on RCV's existing legacy. Just during the time of the rebrand, we actually looked back when we were looking at these pictures, that we have all around here, studying the history of RCV, the farm, just such rich foundation and legacy that is there in RCV. And a big part of it is music, including how RCV built a multi-track studio in the late 90s to support gospel artists to record, promoting their music on radio, also doing concerts in the early 2000s. So RCV has done a lot. So we just thought, okay, as we're turning 30 years, the following year, it can be a start of a new legacy. To also just remind people we're here serving the community as we've always been. The vision is not changing. We're still focused on evangelism. So we just, and then looked around and I saw that there are a few awards, but it's only gospel music is one or two categories. And it seemed like a genuine need and cry from
the gospel space.
From the gospel space, yes. And we said, okay, RCV is actually in the best place to host something like this, looking at the stability, the credibility, and just continuing that support. And we said, okay, can we take the 30 years of celebration and to just shine a light on our best, partners, which are the artists, who are our partners in the ministry. We said, how can we empower them better?
Awesome.
And I'm just so grateful that our leadership believed in it and let us.
I guess they really believed on it, that they gave you a good budget to
when you don't really have also very good big budget. You get creative, and you also rely on partners. And look, we've had a lot of goodwill from amazing partners, churches, who just came on board and say, how can we support you? A lot of individuals who came in and said, how can we support you? So definitely. And I think why it translates into, a big budget, high quality is really the work of the team. The team put in extra work to make sure that it comes off polished, it comes off excellent, because again, we're serving an excellent God and we need to represent him well. But I would say that we're operating at least at like half the budget of what normal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And as somebody who was in attendance, I think that particular day I told myself, we're not carrying a camera, we're not carrying anything. You're just going there to sit, enjoy, and just see what's happening. And kudos to you guys for the first ever. And I think not you speaking, it's me speaking as somebody who's been able to attend pretty much all the award shows. Like getting to see a Christian award show, a Christian event done properly, starting from the music ministration, starting from how the stage was set up, the lighting, like there was intentionality, and kudos to you guys, eh?
Thank you so much. No, we really praise God. I think God really came through for us. I remember that day, the red carpet didn't go as planned. I don't think a lot of people noticed. Again, the favor of God. There were quite a few things that weren't going well. And I was just praying, Lord, may this be like the worst thing that happens today, because this needs to go well. Because we've talked so much about Christian excellence. And, we need to represent God well. So if this is a flop, it's like we've brought shame to your name. So for your name's sake, please.
And from a production standpoint, like it was a great idea not to air it live. To just iron out those small glitches, like. Yeah,
definitely. We just said, live is great so that you can get as many people part of the experience. But I don't think we're there. Even just as a country, as an industry, I don't think we can live stream at a standard, at a quality that would be very good. Even Dove Awards, they don't live stream the show, actually. They release it a few days later. So we just said, okay, you know what? We're going to release it afterwards. I just knew that day when the show actually started, right at 7, I saw the countdown, and then I just saw my phone, my watch, and it said 7. I'm like, whoa, we started exactly on time. And that's when I knew, I think it's going to be fine.
We started on time, we finished on time, and like going to an award show by 03, that's when you're done. So awesome. Of course, the stakes are high. This is the second year running now. So I know the cries, being as one of the people who's like always in the background working with different artists and all, they say there were not so many categories, and then this time around you decided to add more categories. And particularly I would like to ask the category for the different provinces, like how did that come about? Because one of the things which might happen would be that the people who are chosen from the different provinces would be the same people like over and over and over and over. So how did that come about, and how did you come to that conclusion to have nominations for the different provinces?
I think the changes we implemented this year was based on the feedback that we got last year. We did think about it even last year. We're like, we can add more genres, we could add more categories, but we said, okay, this is our first year. Let's just test it out. Let's not bite, more than what we can chew. So we just started with I think we had, was it 12 categories last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was a total of 12 or 14, 15. But somewhere there, maximum 15 categories, because we had nil in some categories. And the biggest feedback we got was, how can we be as inclusive as possible? And we did get also, we sent out a survey to all the artists. So we have a database of the artists who have signed up to be part of it. So we sent a form for people to fill in, and they gave us ideas. And some of them were, can we add more genres, and can we add provincial? Because what happens is, because of our tight criteria that we have, part of it is impact, part of it is also the level of quality. And when you compare within the industry, of course, people in Lusaka and maybe Copperbelt will be have better access, have bigger following. So because of that, already they're at a disadvantage. So we did receive the feedback to add the provincial ones so that we can just appreciate who is doing well in this eastern province, who's doing well in this. And it wasn't easy, especially doing it this year, because one is getting the word out, and then we also do very rigorous background checks as much as possible, because our thing is not also just about your music and your number, but your lifestyle. Are you actually planted in a church? Are you actually Christian? Are you? And we do have a definition of who is a Christian artist that we look at. Yes,
that's a tight one.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want to, because the conversation even last year that we had was, how do we determine which one is gospel music? And some people are like, gospel is a genre, it's not a whole, so we had to come up with our own terms as the RCVMAs that we would follow, and this is all available on our website on the guidelines document. So we said, we're not awarding gospel music or Christian music, we're awarding Christian artists. And we're celebrating their work. So, which means that it doesn't matter if that's now a love song or whatever genre. If a Christian creates it, then we believe that is redeemed work. That is the expansion of God's kingdom. So we just said it has to be a Christian artist. Now we had to define who is a Christian artist, because you can have non-Christians do gospel music. So, you have Beyonce doing When Jesus Says, So are you awarding now?
And I think that's a very powerful point. I did not think of it in that light, because I know a lot of people get hard done because, no, I wasn't nominated, I had the biggest song. But understanding that this isn't just about awarding a song, but it's as well awarding an artist who is firmly grounded and is sharing Jesus boldly and living holy. And I think for me, that's really important, because at the core of everything, even as we are rewarding or celebrating people, we should celebrate people who are as well living right and obeying God's word. So,
absolutely. And it's still very tough. I mean, we do have the definition to make it easier, to also not make it subjective, so it doesn't become personal, so that the process does have integrity. We have, that clear definition of a Christian artist is someone who is, who professes to be a born again Christian, is planted and serving in a local church, is submitted to a spiritual authority who can confirm their testimony of salvation, and also actively uses their craft to glorify God and expand His kingdom. So when you look at each thing, it's somewhat verifiable. It's still tough, but and we're also not saying we get it perfect. It's still, I don't think there's anything perfect on the side of eternity, but we try our best, and I think as we give it our best, then with His grace and with His guidance added, then it'll be as close to perfect as possible. That's really the intention. So I don't think we'll also get it right on every single winner or in every single nominee. Doesn't mean I don't think this is the perfect truth or the standard, but it is just our best shot at trying to set a standard.
Awesome. So two other add-ons. I think last year was 70% adjudication, 30% public
80%.
vote.
So even this year, it's 80% by adjudication, 20% public vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you go with that route? You didn't want the popular vote?
So I think the popular vote has its place. Definitely it matters how well you're able to connect with your fans, with an audience, and build a community, build a following. I think that's very important, and what they have to say is very important. But what we wanted to look at is merit, because so merit has two things. When I said, Christian excellence, how we define that is also by character. Are you really a Christian? Do you actually exhibit the characteristics that are laid out in Scripture? And then also, is the work that you're doing skillfully good? Is it good? Which sometimes the public is not the best judge of what is good, because you will find the not very good work, it can have millions of views.
Yep.
It might not be the best video. So what we
Yep.
wanted to do is also set a standard as to like, this is what's good. Because what we also want in the long run is to empower our artists to also be able to minister and reach people at an international level, which means that there are standards at international levels that need to be subject to. Okay, maybe a lot of Zambians like it, but are you able to break
Can
out
it
and
be
speak
exported
to-
outside? Yeah.
Yeah, because we're seeing, we want to see growth, and we want to see, increase in people,
Yep.
in the reach that they have. And that is why we have partnerships like Integrity Music
Yep.
and Trace Gospel, is so that we can see how we can support our artists to level up. So that means then we're not only looking at what is locally
Acceptable.
accepted and big, but also what does the outside market, what does the outside, so we do have part of the adjudicators are also international, some international artists or
Okay.
music executives, people from Spotify, Integrity, they're also part of the judging panel, so that they give us a perspective from an international standpoint.
Yep.
Is this music video good? Is this storytelling good? Is this songwriting? Is this, and of course we balance it with local judges as well, so you have an all-rounded
Yeah.
view.
That's a good one. I think I'll share this to a lot of people who do not have that knowledge as to why it's done this way. Coming in, we'll talk about the awards, which will be happening just in a few days. The rise of AI. I know AI is now a part of us. It's great songs are being done, receiving massive airplay, receiving millions of views. How will that affect now, like the whole process? Will AI be accepted in the 2026 RCVMAs?
I think that's definitely a conversation and a debate we're yet to have in the office. If you ask me personally, I would say no.
Yeah.
Because as we talked about it, we're awarding Christian artists,
Yes.
not just the work.
Yeah.
So if the artist is some random AI generated person, there's
Yeah.
no way we're awarding them. So for us, I think in that sense, it's easy for us. We're awarding Christian artists. If the conversation is how much, there's still a person putting in the prompt. I think it's okay to use AI as a tool to assist what you do, maybe even outsource the mundane tasks, the repetitive tasks and everything. But I do think that it gets, this is me speaking personally, I think it gets dangerous when you're allowing AI to generate stuff for you, to think on your behalf. If we're outsourcing our thinking, our analyzing, our being guided by, because the AI guides you to a certain conclusion, a certain next step. And I think that is dangerous because we have the Holy Spirit who is to guide us into all truth, into all knowing. And I think switching that for AI would be, I think, a disservice for what we're doing. It is very tricky, and I think a big conversation to be had. I remember just the other day, I was actually in the car with my husband, and there was very nice R&B Christian music playing, and I heard it the night going home, and then the next morning, and I'm like, oh, who's this artist?
Yes.
And then it says AI, and I was like, oh my gosh, why are you listening to AI? AI music, and he said, it's good. I'm like, it is actually really good, but and I was just like, I was so conflicted. At the same time, okay, maybe a real person wrote the lyrics, shouldn't matter if it's scripture that it's reciting. At the same time, it's like, if music is going to minister to your soul and it goes straight to your subconscious, I don't want to open that up to some AI person. I want to open that up to a Christian
who
artist
has an
is
actual
inspired by the Holy
relationship with
Spirit.
God.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that's tricky. It's definitely going to be a bigger conversation.
Well, you will have massive nominations next year from the public.
Are there Christians in Zambia doing AI music?
Yeah, so there's been like a massive rise. There's somebody who's done like a whole complete album, which is sitting like in the millions of views so far. Like
a Christian person, or just we don't know who did it?
Well, we know the person. Okay. However, if I say this, it
okay.
so
It's a question mark.
I might be fought online, so let me.
Okay.
But AI is pretty much and some. Yeah, I think I've been as well noticing with some of the other established artists as well. Like this certain level is just like, I know, yeah, you're a good writer, but not to this extent. Like, yeah.
So
So
AI is a better writer now.
I think there's like better quality
Yeah.
with AI. Remember, like you put in prompts and then it's bringing you like a properly
Yeah.
world standard mastered mixed project.
Shame.
And
Yeah.
so
I mean, it can be good. It's just, I think there's a lot of conversations for us to have in order to be wise about how
Yep.
we use it and how we navigate it, just for personal use too. Because again, what we open up our hearts to matters.
yeah,
And for me, that's personally why I don't usually like indulge in music that is not by Christians.
yeah,
Is for the same reason. So I think if we're staying consistent, if we're not listening to worldly music,
Yeah.
just because it doesn't edify us, I would say the same thing. But I know there's an argument to be made from the other side. If it's just scripture, it's reciting, why not? I think it's a conversation worth exploring.
awesome. So here we are, RCV Music Awards, second edition. What are you looking forward to? What are you excited like?
I'm really excited for this year. I want to just sit and enjoy the show this year, and just take it all. I'm actually really, really excited.
I think we should make
for-
sure that the phone is taken away from you.
No,
like
no,
no
you're not taking the phone
communication,
away. No.
like no comms whatsoever, no giving instruction.
Yeah.
Like,
To be honest, I don't think I have anything to do that evening. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I honestly, we're so blessed with an amazing team.
Awesome.
Everybody's like on it.
yeah.
If I am able to sit still, I think I can. But I'm looking forward to the music is gonna be amazing. I mean, we
Yeah.
have over 20 something artists
Ministering.
on stage this year.
Yeah.
And I've seen a bit of the rehearsals. It's amazing. The opening act itself is amazing. I think we're gonna see a very spirit-filled ministry, but also very skilled, amazing, talented people on stage. That is going to be so inspiring. I'm also just looking forward to seeing what God is going to do this at the event, because my prayer is that it wouldn't just be some big flashy event, everybody dressed up, but it would also be transformational, that people would come in and leave different, having seen and met God, been inspired, having received like a mission, having received inspiration to go out and share their faith boldly, to represent Him courageously. And I'm excited to see the testimonies that'll come out of it.
Awesome. My takeaway for last year, I think 2 ministrations. Number one was Pastor Washi, and the second one was Pastor Leo's tribute to Matthew Ngo. So like that was like
It was beautiful,
and just the impact it's had as well, like looking at the views on the different social media platforms. That's
amazing. I think it's gone the farthest.
Yeah.
Pastor Leo did an amazing job. Pastor Washi is also just phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's actually, I don't know if I should be giving this away, but he will be closing the show.
Oh wow.
So we'll be closing the show on a very high note.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but I also know that it's going to be very meaningful. I know the MCs are ready to take us on a journey.
Yeah.
Also, it will not be like, it will be an active participation from the audience side. Because I know from what we're planning, it will not be people to coming and just spectating what's happening on stage, but we've planned it so that it's a journey that people go with us, and by the end, people have taken a certain action. They've stepped out of their comfort zone. By the end, they've done something that changes them. Yeah.
Awesome. So the venue is Cielo. Are we starting exactly on time?
We're starting exactly on time, and I already
No
feel
Zambian
sorry
time.
for people who will come late. I know Zambian time definitely. I mean, if people are going to be late, I also understand it's that's far.
Yeah,
It's
but I
there
know
might be
there's
traffic.
the shuttle service.
There's
Yeah.
a shuttle service starting from 3 p.m. every 30
Yeah.
minutes until 4:30
Yeah.
from East Park. So there's a phone number also on our social media that
Yeah.
people can call in case they have any questions. So there's shuttle service, but also like just starting off early, arriving there early would be better.
Yeah.
It will have food vendors and a whole
Oh, yeah, and
vibe
actually
happening.
the red carpet.
The red
Yeah,
carpet
so
experience. You see some of the photo booths that
yeah.
are here. It's going to be very glamorous
Yeah.
and beautiful. So we have a whole experience planned.
Yeah.
So I think if people arrive much earlier, we'll
Yeah.
be ready for them.
Yeah.
I think it's better to just be there. There will be food. There will be photo booths.
Yeah.
And then the show will start exactly at 19.
Okay.
So we have 2 hours of red carpet from
Awesome.
5 p.m. till 19. 19, the show will start. Again, I'm just going to feel sorry for people who come late because we're going to start the show.
There's a lot of work for Patrick and I, because I will as well be doing my version of the red carpet at the show.
Yes.
So
Yes, and you'll be joining us on the red
yeah,
carpet.
yes.
So yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. We'll have we'll have a few media there.
Yeah.
We'll have some influencers there as
Okay.
well, vlogging. So it's
Yeah.
going to be a really fun time.
Sharing Jesus boldly. And actually, before we close, sharing Jesus boldly. I know it's a campaign which RCV has, but how can people join? And I know there's as well the application, the Yes He Is
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Share Jesus Boldly is basically an invitation for our audience, our Christian audience who want to take their assignment in the Great Commission seriously.
Mhm.
So if they want to be intentional about, taking on that, take the gospel into all the earth, into all ends of the earth, and teaching people to keep the commandments that Jesus has given us and making disciples. And if they want to be intentional about that, then we have resources for them. We have a community for them. The easiest way would be we have a WhatsApp channel, Share Jesus Boldly WhatsApp channel, where we share some resources, some links, and just daily inspiration to remind people on this is the purpose of why we're on earth, is so that we can proclaim His name. But we can make that as simple. It doesn't have to be some massive, like we have to take a mission trip to some village in order to evangelize, but we can evangelize to our next door neighbor, to even people in the church who might not really know the gospel, but who go there just religiously. Maybe people are caught up in the prosperity gospel, people who are caught up in just the wrong things, and people who are hurt and in need of Jesus, but they are friends and we've never thought about, So I think sharing Jesus boldly is also attempting to make evangelism as simple and everyday as possible, starting from the way we live, the way we speak, the way we champion truth, the way we champion Jesus. I think the best way would be to join the WhatsApp channel. We also have a CV. We have the Yes He Is app, which is just an amazing tool that people can use to just... there's training courses in there. They can also log their active evangelism as they're doing stuff. So it gamifies that experience, the evangelism experience. It's very fun. So Yes, He Is available on Android and what is the
App
other
Store.
one? App Store. Yes.
Awesome. So thank you very much for according us the time to just have a deep dive into your life, your journey, and thank you
so much, Dennis. I'm very, very grateful. And this has been fun.
Awesome. Glad you enjoyed. So ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've been informed, transformed, as well as inspired. So see you at Ciela, see you at the RCVMAs. And then for those of you who are like far and wide, when will they air on TV?
A week later.
On
Saturday the 13th. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we also have a pre-show. We've announced the pre-show. Yes, we have. The pre-show will show. So some of the awards will actually be announced 2 days before the awards event on the 4th of December. That's next week, Thursday. It'll be on Mozo TV, Crown TV, Prime TV, and then later in the night, it'll also be available on YouTube.
Okay.
So the pre-show is a whole 2 hours show that people can watch.
Awesome.
It'll have winner announcements. It'll have some music ministry as well, some amazing interviews from artists where they share their personal journey of being set apart and
Yeah.
finding purpose. Yeah, it's really
And
cool.
I think as well, so something that this time around, it's not just the artists getting awarded, but the people as well, part of the production
Yes.
line as well.
Yes, we have these beautiful plaques that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to give to the technical roles,
Yes.
the key roles around the winning works.
Mhm.
So, for instance, if it's Song of the Year, the producer, the songwriter, the sound engineer,
Mhm.
right? Audio
The
engineer.
mixing and mastering
Yeah.
engineer, yeah?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
they will also receive plaques, recognition of their work, so that we can appreciate the team
Yeah.
effort, because it's always done in a team,
Mhm.
and we can also uplift the industry as a whole.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed. From me, Dennis Umubanga. We say bye-bye.